262.
And 69,
So cheaper than Ajax. Ajax is the group that actually did your boulevard several years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with them?
I've done a ton of work with them.
That's Dave Torres? Is that Dave Torres? Cutter Concrete?
Collier Concrete? No. No, that's, Andy.
Okay.
Alex DeMarco.
Collier Concrete and Paving. So if we, should we go ahead?
It sounds like I need to step back because we now have an add-on.
Add-on.
We have them first start with the engineer and see what it's going to take to get it permitted and how it needs to actually be constructed, develop
Okay.
a quick little plan for the guys to review for proposal.
Okay.
That's what they do. I mean, they lay curb, they do new installation as well as refurbishment, so.
Okay.
Yeah, the other part of that was we kind of talked about, and Phil just brought it up, the center, like those little center spots, kind of flattening those, kind of changing some of that landscaping.
I don't think that's the pavers.
Yeah, it's not the
That's the
pavers.
landscape.
So that would be after it's paved?
That's going to have to be some other work
Yeah.
with some other pot of money, because this was set aside, this is part of the community re-asphalting.
So this is just resurface?
Resurface, restripe, we can make some minor modifications with curving and all, but it's not a redo of the medians.
Right, and then move the handicap parking.
What we can probably do with that is we may be able to group that into your landscaping budget when we get to doing the community landscaping, is
Right.
put that in, so.
And we'll put that in with that, because that needs to be,
But we specifically set this one aside, and I think it had a $200,000 value.
yeah.
So this is really part of the overall community-wide, but doing this one first, so we can get this out of the way.
Out of the way,
was
because that's the
thought.
worst of the worst.
But my goal was to try to get that done prior to your season. Sounds like we're going to have to step back a little bit.
Step back a
so.
little bit. Well, maybe by next month they can do it.
Yeah, scheduling will be the next thing, but it's nighttime work, so,
Right, so that's good.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll put that off till next month. Okay. The filling of the vacant seats on the board. I did put a thing in the newsletter asking people if anybody was interested to submit their resume to you by the end of October, November, I forget what date I put in there. Anyway, so you'll have the resumes to submit to us, and we'll discuss it at the December. Then we'll have, who's ever interested, come to the December meeting, and then we'll vote on it at that point in time.
Yeah, Mike's going to run through his term, which your meeting in November is actually Election Day, the 8th, so you wouldn't be able to declare the vacancy just yet. Well,
Right.
actually, you should be able to.
No,
Nobody qualified for the seat at all.
But it doesn't really happen until then, and so I would wait.
Okay.
Okay, so we would do it at the December
You can
meeting.
do it at the December and immediately consider any resumes that you've received.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we'll have those at that point. And
Okay.
Adam, was it? Yeah, Adam Dalton. I did speak with him. He was at the last meeting, and got some opinions of why he wanted to participate. And so he's been a long-term resident here as well, so.
Good candidate.
And the reason that he didn't submit his qualifications is because he was still working with a business that he was selling, and he was still
Working with
HOA on the community expansion. So, but he has some really good ideas. He's got a good finance background. Asked some really good questions. So, Mike, I don't know, you're going to participate? You're still thinking about it? Yeah. Okay. So we'll see. So anyway, I've submitted that. I don't know how many we'll have, but okay. So that's that. Okay. So what? Well, then you got 2 more years. You're not running again? No, you're not leaving. You've raised enough hell, you're not coming here. Okay. Well, that's on video, I shouldn't say that. It just won't get into the minutes. Okay, the next one is the outdoor seating for Duffy's. With the extension of the patio.
I don't know, there's some discussions, I guess. I don't know if
Have you?
John or Phil and Jeff are going to have some conversations.
We have an idea what we'd like to do, and I broached it to Duffy's and to Lisa. Lisa talked about potentially adding it onto the CAM. I mean, Tony, I'm just kind of waiting on you to, what your opinion might be to how we, because I don't know if the lease is based on actual square footage, and is the square footage the outdoor area as well, and so forth and so on.
In my quick look at the lease, the premises does include the patio area. But I guess the question is, what is intended to be, is going to be expanded horizontally or just altered?
Expanded, probably double the size this way and coming towards the first tee, if you're familiar, towards
You already gave up your picture.
towards the pro shop side, like
Okay,
a quarter of the
so-
way.
How about this? How about if you, Lisa, and I next week have a call for a meeting to talk about it? Like a Zoom meeting where you all can share the screen and send the graphics ahead of time?
Yeah.
Where you propose, that way I can look at the lease and
Tony,
it would require an amendment of the premises description if it's going to go outside of it.
do we currently charge them for the current outside space?
Yeah.
Yes, it's described in the lease as part of the premises. If you look at the sketch that's attached, describing the premises,
Yeah.
has the description of the,
Well, we're basically looking at expanding that like triple the size of it now.
Yeah, right
And
now it's-
possibly we could just modify the math, right?
well, you'd also have to modify the lease. Exhibit A is sketch of the premises
Yeah.
on the lease, and it goes total under error, and the patio is currently 688 square feet.
The patio that they use is
The patio that they lease as part of the premises is 688. So if they have not yet paved all the patio, they would only be altering the patio area, which is a bit different. So I guess, what's the current,
Okay, so currently they're right here, and they're looking to go here.
again, well, if they're looking to go where the chair is indicated, that's on the golf course track that's actually outside the clubhouse track. So we need to talk then about, I mean, you can, lease, that'd be a separate lease or an extension to lease, but the clubhouse track is that 5-acre track, so we just acquired 4.8.
Okay, so we would actually be
If we go, I'll call it southeast, that goes into the golf course tract, which is a separate platted tract, so yes.
Separate agreement.
We could amend the lease to include that, arguably, or have a separate lease. I mean, we could amend the lease to include that,
But we would just have dirt patio on our property,
which is, we
we don't really care.
currently have it now, but it'd be the golf course property versus the clubhouse.
Well, isn't it all considered one track now?
No, no, and the combination of the tracks would just be the clubhouse tract, not the golf course tract.
So if I could negotiate on half of the golf course, then why don't we go ahead, build it, then instead of them paying us because it's on our track, we'll just go ahead and, the rent for the pro shop, we'll just call it even, What's good is good.
I think he's from Jersey.
I'm just getting creative here, that's all. I'm just trying to- I apologize.
But if they put stuff on our property, it would affect our insurance as well.
Well, again, both parcels are owned by the district now.
Correct.
The clubhouse tract, which is a separately platted tract, and you have the golf course tract, which is a separately platted tract. If you then expand in this direction, if my recollection is from the plats and surveys, and I could be wrong, is this actually would be on the golf course.
The Salvo always used to say to us, he owned up to 30 feet from the cart path.
But now we own all of it,
Well, now we don't know.
but two different tracts.
But the plat, okay, so
Operations.
that's, I don't know.
I said it's two different operations. I think that should be a separate agreement with the golf course operation.
Yeah, they would have
What
to,
would that run through? I mean, through the golf shop?
How do you operate?
I mean, I'm okay.
No, they're-
Honestly, I'm okay if we'll pay for it.
Different business
I mean,
operations.
it's because it expands our revenue percentage.
Well, I guess
That's
that's
the
the
bottom
question.
line. I mean, all we're trying to do is make their patio bigger so we can make more money. That's the bottom line.
And if you're telling us that if we make it bigger, it's going to affect the golf course, and they'd have to pay the golf course money, then we definitely want to do it.
If it's cost us $30,000, okay, we're gonna make that and more over a 7-year period.
Well, I would submit that any improvements be made by the tenant typically in that case. That's, I mean, that's part of negotiating, whether or not the agreement.
This tenant or Duffy's?
Duffy's.
Duffy's is the tenant.
Duffy's would be the tenant
So if they're
of
gonna
the,
use it,
Just
they need
giving
to
them
pay
a
for
land
it.
lease.
yeah, Duffy's would be the tenant of the district and all
Oh,
that.
okay.
But
So
whether
we'll
it's
just
the
give them a
clubhouse,
land lease.
whether it's the clubhouse operation
Okay.
tenant or the golf course operation tenant
Okay.
is the question, because it's all owned by the one entity. But,
What do we need
Yeah, I
to
mean,
do to
it's a golf,
expand their-
golf course track, let the golf course enter into a land lease with Duffy's, and if there's a charge for it, the golf course gets the money in the golf course operation. So that's all
Okay,
there.
all right,
Those are
guys.
tax exempt.
Chuck just said, if we do it and it's the golf course, that we do a land lease with Duffy's for that property, and then the money would go to the golf course.
Which is Dan Carter.
yeah, and Chuck and I were just talking also, since there are tax exempt bonds currently, they're still outstanding, we would need to get opinion from bond counsel that it's not going to qualify as private activity, and then also get a sign off from the bond.
Another 5,000.
Are you kidding me?
You can thank the IRS and the Treasury Department for all their
The
fundraising.
87,000 that are going to come out after us.
And this is before you go to see the village.
Okay, well, let's go back.
They practiced on the village, so they know how to handle it now.
Okay, so Tony, Jeff, and get Lisa involved, and Phil, do you want to be a part of that?
Sure.
Okay.
And so I get, and the conversation would be, where geographically is this proposed? Then which operation would be responsible for it? And then internally, maybe come back to the board with a recommendation as to who would pay for it. You know what I mean? Or do you want to begin those conversations with Duffy?
And we can speak with Duffy's and see where they are with
Because then you
that.
need
So,
LDO for the village.
Jeff, if you can get with Tony and Lisa and Phil and do that.
I'll look up a meeting.
I like the land lease. That's a good idea.
Sure.
Okay.
I do not get a commission on tax council's opinion.
Okay.
Well, we already know that they want to move forward with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're asking Duffy's,
Well, if
if they want to pay for it.
it's a financial thing, because they will ultimately, I mean, let's just say we decide that, yes, we're going to do the pavers. They will have to, as a land lease, pay us something. We're not just giving them free land or free rent. So that's what we have to determine, what that cost would be, and go to them and say, we're doing the pavers, we want you to expand your business, but because you've now gained X amount of square feet, the cost is X amount of dollars.
Okay, we need some kind of that in some way in writing, and give it to the property manager, let her.
Yeah, well, that's why if you three can talk with Lisa next week and let her approach them and take it from there.
We need to know exactly where that property line is, exactly.
Yeah.
Because maybe we just expand right up to the property line, that's it. You know what I mean? We can always go further to the right. You don't have to go onto the golf course property if you're going to wind up with some kind of, hey, here's a millimeter of a square acre, you owe us X. I mean,
But Jeff, if
we're
they're-
parsing hairs here over like no land.
Okay, but the bottom line is, if they are taking more property, yes, they need to pay us more.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
it's just like
I know, I
a
mean,
couple of square feet of dirt. I mean,
well, and the
but I
bottom,
guess, like you pay for a gravesite, I guess you gotta pay for
you
that.
gotta pay for that. Okay, that was interesting. I'm not paying for one yet. Okay, so you guys will work on that next week.
What you got?
Okay. The at-will contracts for Jeff and John, that's kind of been put on hold. We're still waiting to get some more information. So we'll discuss that again at next month, and hopefully we'll get some more information at that point. Okay, number 10, the resolution considering the payments.
Yeah.
Tony, this is yours.
Yeah, hopefully this is self-explanatory. We had prior discussions that while the pro shop and the golf will continue to pay the same amounts and funds and fees to the district as it was paying to tax as landlord, the portion dealing with the $3,000 per month for the parking easement, which came about from interesting circumstances, would no longer be paid as of September
1st.
September 1st.
Right.
And so this resolution accomplishes that. Chuck, it's satisfactory from your purposes financially?
Yes.
Yes.
And so it accomplishes those purposes, and it's in good form for adoption by the board, and if there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, well, I will start off with making a motion to accept the resolution 2022-13 concerning the use of the payment of the parking lot.
Second.
Okay, any discussion with regard to that? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody that's opposed can pay the money. Okay, so we'll go ahead
So
with
Chuck's
that.
got the original to sign, or not, Chuck?
I do.
Yeah, I'll sign that at the end. Okay.
And then I was just giving a copy to Lisa, so she has it for her file.
Yes. Okay. Number 11, the parking. Chuck, you're going to work
Yeah,
on that?
we'll step back on that one.
Step off, back on that one, okay. Corkscrew Pines, there was supposed to be a meeting this afternoon, which because of the hurricane, it's been canceled. They will let us know.
Is that in regards to the gas station?
Yes, and Bill Reynolds came up with a good one today. We've never even given them permission to use that road.
Who's that?
The road?
The road?
Who's using it?
Well, if the gas station goes in there, that's our road. The back road.
So we could just say no to the access to the road?
No.
Well, it's a public road, it's all
It's a
right.
public road?
Yeah, we had this
Consider it a
discussion
public
before.
road, even though it's a private road.
Yeah, we had that
The only
discussion.
people maintain it are us. They're going to use it without asking us. They haven't offered us anything. You know, it's going to be noise there, and you guys have been discussing what we're going to do along Corkscrew. You know, you're going to, one way to stop any sound there is going to be with a wall that we'd have to pay for as residents. Now you're going to have the noise from the gas station along the road there. And we're going to need a wall for that. Who's going to pay for it? If they want to do something with us, why are you guys asking for something back?
Yeah,
The wall would be nice.
the public access, you can't deny. I mean, that was purchased with the bonds, funded by the bonds.
Okay.
Tax exempt. However, the standards by which those roads were constructed, I don't believe are to the level that they would need to be for that operation.
Yeah.
So that would have to be a requirement, and I think we talked about this previously with someone else on this.
Yeah.
So
Because
they
we were
have
with
to
this,
bring it up
remember
to
we
the
tried
proper
to give
standard.
it to the Board of Ed? And we were going to have to bring it up to a level for them to,
Yeah.
It'd be an impact fee essentially.
Yeah, and they're gonna have, somebody's gonna have to pay for maintenance of that road. The school won't, we know that.
But I
The
think
village won't, or the county, that leaves it back on us
you
again.
can probably dovetail that into any kind of an agreement.
yeah,
So,
so anyway,
District boundaries. If they have an extraordinary wear and tear, we can special stuff.
yeah.
And, as I was just asking Chuck, to the extent the property that is within the district boundaries, and to the extent that there's extraordinary wear and tear on district facilities over and beyond some other properties, we might be able to especially assess them for that differential between routine maintenance and what it would take. Because we're talking about tanker trucks, is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, that parcel has been assigned equivalent residential units from the very beginning. We've always paid assessments.
Okay.
I think for the longest time, there was talk about there being a self-storage facility out there. Now it's changed to this, so
Yeah.
it's a game changer. It's a lot different use.
yeah,
So,
I think part of what they're going after, besides the gas station, they're talking about the storage buildings again. They dropped from 3 stories to 2 stories, so that's probably part of what they're going with this time too. There'll be a lot of traffic out there on that road.
Since we voted not to give them their waiver for the water runoff, how can they supersede us not giving the waiver?
I think this is the village development order versus the South Florida Water Management District development order.
So
Is
what's
that
going to
correct?
be, do they have to come up
Two
with a
separate
different
permits.
plan?
they're definitely going to have to mitigate.
Florida management, but you guys had a letter a couple of meetings ago that's required them to put a special filter in their driveway to change once a year to catch the gas. But that's only on the gas station property. For them to dump, if you look at the plans where the sewers and stuff are, they look like they want to run through the preserve.
right.
They
So,
don't want it in there.
so South Florida Water Management said if you put the filter, that's okay. But then we are saying that no, because you're doing it, and the village is asking for,
Yeah, but I understand that, so we didn't give them the waiver.
Right.
Why can they still pursue this?
Actually, it was
because you're probably going to pursue it a different way.
Well,
And go to the village.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, and I'm not sure because that was going to be at the meeting today.
Because what's gonna happen, they're still gonna dump the stuff out.
Right,
There's the reasons.
but, and,
I talked to a certain person on that
okay,
about it. And I
We
was
talked to our hydraulics about it too. Okay, so anything that gets spilled out there can be at our lakes during the day. If it gets into the ground, because we're that close to them. So that's a big hazard you're thinking about, just because with the sandy soil, the way it percolates, all our lakes are connected, so if it drains into the lake over here,
It's going through all of them.
2 lakes within a week.
We're gonna have gas on the 18th fairway.
Yeah.
and the new swim club, no, that can't happen. Okay, so when that comes up, I'll keep you
Please do.
posted on that, okay. The financials. I told Chris I wasn't going to go through this, but we will. We're good with the governmental funds, everything's fine with those. And check, these are our new revenue reserves.
Yeah, the special revenue fund?
Yes.
It's just a summary at this point. We will be breaking out more
Breaking it,
accounts.
yeah.
This is just basically showing your receipts versus expenses.
Right,
We'll
that
have
was
more
just a quick
accounts
one, I
in there.
figured that was all
Yep.
that was. Okay, the revenue bonds will make a payment in November, and then the residents' last payment will be next May, which will be great. And we're on track with that. And again, another one of the new bonds.
Madam Chairman, can we have one clarification on the bonds that the golf course side is paying? Can we just make absolutely certain we're able to pay those off early without penalty?
Can we
Just to be
pay,
absolutely certain.
Yes,
Thank you, John.
yep.
okay. So, yes, so let's see where we are, like come December, Jeff?
Yeah,
Financially,
but
and then we can-
before we get into a whole plan of
Yep.
May 1, 2026, let's just make sure we can.
Yeah,
I thought at one time we did have bonds that we, or a bond we could pay off on the golf course
But
early.
you can't pay it off until the resident side is paid off. Once the resident side is paid off.
yeah, and the resident will be
Yes.
paid off in
I
May,
just
so
want to
then,
I just want to make
It
sure.
has to be by golf course revenue, no outside.
No outside.
right, okay. Fund balances. Irrigation fund, we're doing good, everything's paid for, okay? And financially, we still have some cash there, that's nice. I'm good with that one. Okay, the golf course fund, as of last Friday, we had $411,000, so we are in good shape. Jeff, the accounts payable are all up to date, water's up to date.
Everything she sent me, Lucy's been on vacation, so hopefully maybe I'll get something today.
Okay.
I'll tie it all in today.
Chuck, I was looking at this, due from general fund, I know that's the payroll, due from irrigation fund on the golf course, why would they owe us money? But that's fine if they do. Page 12, 20,000, towards the bottom. Did I look at that right?
Yeah.
Have to take a look at that.
That's 20,336, I wasn't sure why the irrigation fund owed us money, but I'll take it.
We can get the answer for you.
Okay. Let's see. So the revenues, you guys are doing a great job. Concession, everything is good. Did have one question. It's paper. That's fine. Okay. Insurance was higher here, and I wasn't sure why, whether we didn't split it out or not. I didn't get to. Do you guys have any questions on any of the financials? I think we're doing fine. Park maintenance, I have no other questions. You guys have anything on the financials? Okay. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the financial statements. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned earlier you're around 51,000 pounds. How's that compared to last year?
It's up, probably about, we were probably about 47, 48 last year, so we're up.
Let's hope this economy doesn't affect it. Okay. Let's go through the minutes. I had nothing on page 1 or page 2. Guys, jump in when you can. I have no changes on page 3.
Wow, effing Bushwick trees. It's funny.
Okay. I have nothing on pages 4 or 5. I had some changes. Hold on. Okay, it's 6. I have on page 10, line 293, it should be Brian McFall and Darrell Stanley. Just put their last names in there. And on line 299, it's Elizabeth Hanson, Hanson. Any other changes, gentlemen? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that was easy, Chuck. Tony, do you have anything else for us?
No, I just have not yet contacted or gotten with LIPA to combine the lots, but I will do that on my to-do list. And then I'll just working with Jeff, John, and Bill, and Lisa
Okay.
on the Duffys.
Perfect. Johnson Engineering's not here. Chuck, do you have anything for
I
us?
have nothing additional for you.
Okay. Phil, all? Mike? Phil?
We're going to start talking about paving the community.
Well, that's,
I have to have the engineer put together the project manual. The lion's share of that's been done in the report that you guys received previously, but we got put together for sealed bidding purposes, and then we have to go out for sealed bidding because of the anticipated value. And then the question will become, do you want to try to do it in season, or do you want to wait until after season when we have a little less traffic? You know, kind of that April, May timeframe where it's dry, yet most of the seasonal people have left.
I would rather do it after season because people are complaining.
In which case, we'll put the project manual together so it's ready to go. Probably won't bid it until after the holidays.
Okay.
And it's really probably a 30 to 45 day bidding process with the value of this. And then we can go ahead and let the contract have its schedule, and we'll make it a requirement that has to be done during April, May timeframe, so.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, one thing I had, I was over on the East Coast last week, and those silver boxes out front, I have to tell you, I went by several street corners where they had them painted really, really nice. Now, I don't know who does that, who we would contact. Actually, one of them was almost painted so it almost looked like it was part of the shrubbery.
I think that'd be Lee County DOT.
Okay.
I mean, some places will allow painting of their, for example, I think Cape Coral does it, City of Marco Island does it. Certain, like FPL might, the Utilities Department might, but this would be a Lee County DOT issue as to the traffic signals.
Okay, because I mean, it looks hideous.
Yeah.
And I think if we could get them painted,
Or have them do a wrap.
Oh, okay.
Might be able to wrap them, pick a design, and I think they're stainless steel. I'm not sure how they get paint to adhere to stainless steel.
Okay, well, maybe they were wrapped on the other side, I don't know, it's just that
Yeah.
it just looked like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It made it look much nicer.
Yeah, oh yeah, try to make them blend and go away,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
I should contact the DOT?
Yeah, Randy Searchy, right?
Randy Searcy.
Or who is it, Dave Murphy also, or Randy's probably better, he's out.
Randy's
in charge.
Lindsay?
Yeah, Randy's the top of the pyramid, so.
I think it's CERCHIE. He's on that email chain, he was there part of that presentation.
Yes.
Way back when we did
He did the fence.
landscaping, the fence and all that.
Oh, I think I've spoken
He
with
was-
him.
yeah.
I hope he remembers me.
Oh, he
Yeah,
will.
he does, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Or not.
You might want to ask him if he's going to take the fabric off the fence or just let the hurricane blow the fence
Blow the
across the
fence,
street.
okay.
that's
Now,
good
here's an
timing.
idea, I should ask him that one.
One thing I did forget about, I apologize, was the question about the width of the golf cart path. We've had some emails going back and forth about it, and it's on the subject, on the lots where the golf cart path exists, it's 11 feet on the lot line, so it's 22 feet in width total. And as I mentioned in my email to John and to Chris, Brady and copied Chuck, when the district is the easement holder, it holds the dominant estate. I might own a piece of land, but if there's an easement encumbering the property, that easement holder is the dominant interest. I'm the subservient interest. I cannot interfere with that dominant interest. So the person could say, don't trim the vegetation, and we're saying it's on our golf cart path. And if we say, hey, we need to maintain our easement and make it safe and operational, we can do that. And he cannot interfere with that, he or she.
Okay.
So I think hopefully it was clear, I guess, John and Chris.
Yes, for Chris and I, there's plenty of clarity. We're just trying to convey that to the
A
homeowner.
lot of people don't understand, I mean, when you explain to them that there's easements encumbering it, and they're the servient estates of.
Right, it's hard to explain to somebody you own it, but you can't, don't.
Don't.
Well, it's kind of like, it's like any easement, when you have a utility easement.
Right.
You have drainage easements, same thing,
Or the roads, if
Road
they want to
easement.
expand the roads, yeah, they take whatever they want of your road.
same thing.
Oh, nice property, but we're going to put a road there.
So I apologize for jumping back in.
Oh, no problem. Does anybody else have anything? Okay, I need a motion to,
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor? Opposed?
Stay safe.
Okay, stay safe in the storm, yes, please, everybody.